Alrighty guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for the Rising of the Shield Hero episode 2. And probably by later on in the series, I'll be just calling the show like Shield Hero or something to narrow it down. You guys will know what you're coming into before you even open the video, so not like that matters too much. So what I just did before I started recording was I made a list of the character names for at least the 4 characters with the special weapons that came from another world. So we have, I'll read you my little notes. I have a little notepad on my other monitor. So we have Iwatani Naofumi, who is the MC I put in Shield. And then Amaki Ren, I put as the edgy black hair sword. And then Kitamura Motoyasu, which is tall blonde hottie spear. That's what I wrote. And then Kawasumi Itsuki, younger blonde bow. Yep. So that's my mental thought process. Those names are kind of crazy. You guys might, if you guys watch my other reactions, I'm usually pretty good with names. For them, well, sometimes. I have my moments, but usually I pick up on at least like the main cast names like pretty quickly. But these names are kind of like out there. Like Amaki, I could probably remember, or just Ren, but even just the main character's name, like Iwatani Naofumi, is just like crazy for a name, right? And then like Kitamura, eventually I might get it, but then like Kawasumi Itsuki, I don't know. For some reason, they feel like they don't click in my mind, But anyways, regardless of all that, we are on episode 2, and I am surprisingly looking forward to this show. And the reason why I say surprisingly was because I've seen a lot of isekais. I think I said it wrong last episode. I think it's isekai. I think I was calling it insekai before. I think it's isekai is how you say it. Sorry if I butcher that a lot, but regardless, I've seen a lot of these shows where someone goes to another world, right? And usually it's very, related to video games and stuff like that, and sometimes it starts to feel a little overrated. So I was a little worried when I realized, because I didn't know going into the show that this was one of them. It wouldn't have changed my mind because it won the poll. But when I first noticed it, I was like, oh geez, okay, another one of these. But after watching it, I found myself wanting to watch more, and I can't really tell you what it is. It has a lot more video game feel than a lot of the other ones, because we get to see his HUD more and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And it really just made me, I don't know, I had fun with it. And I like the main character's growth, like, pretty early on in the show, too. Like, first episode, we had him go through something and come out of it the other side, like, more mature and more ready, I guess would be the term, right? And, well, not the term, sorry. I'm getting a little bit distracted. I hear people walking around. I'm worried I'm gonna get interrupted. But, that being said, sorry for this long intro as well. But I found myself really wanting to watch more. I almost watched another episode and put another episode for you guys out on a day that this doesn't come out, just because I was like so excited. But then I got into a lot of other things. I watched a lot of extra Boruto episodes recently, which took up a lot of my time. And then My Hero Academia started up again, so I just didn't find the time to do it, even though I've been thinking about this show for a while. So even though I've done a lot of reaction stuff in the past couple weeks, I still find myself really excited to watch this episode, guys. So let's get into it, because I've already talked far too long. Alrighty, guys, so like usual, down in the description, there's going to be a Vimeo link that you guys can follow to reach the reaction. If you click that link, it should bring you directly there, easy peasy. I also noticed I was watching some other reactors that use Vimeo, and it doesn't work good on the browser, but they do have an app, and their app seems to work very good, at least on Android, and at least on my phone, it worked fine, so check out that app if you guys have not yet. So, worked good for me. But yeah, so go ahead and click that Vimeo link down in the description right now. I think that is it. I'm not sure if that was an end credit scene or if that was preview of the next episode, so I'm not gonna watch it. If I missed an end credit scene, you guys can let me know. I'm not sure if I did or not. I'll go back and watch it if I did, and I'll try to be more on alert, but I don't want to watch a preview, by accident or something. So, yeah. That was a good episode, though. I enjoyed it. It was basically a whole episode dedicated to setting up this new character that's going to be a part of the show, right? And giving us some conflict for the main character, but not much. It was really mainly just building up Raphtalia was her name, right? And so, she has this tragic backstory, as anime characters do, at least main characters a lot of times. She, the first wave of monsters killed her parents. She was saved from that, but then somehow got enslaved somewhere down the road, and, apparently her previous owner was torturing her and everything, which it sucks. Even though they're just characters in a show, and they're just animated characters at that, you still, feel bad for them and stuff like that, so stinks, but I'm glad that Naofumi was the one to find her. I kind of knew, at the start, I was trying to talk about it a bit, but I felt like I was going to have to go into more detail than I had time for in the episode. I didn't want to, sit there and talk a crap ton during, where nothing was going on, just because when I'm editing, that makes it hard to edit. I usually have to, cut out the video for part of what I'm talking about. I basically just try not to go into long discussions, because I want to pay attention to what's going on and stuff like that. But what I was trying to say was, in the beginning, I think he was being more aggressive with her in front of the slave owner, just to kind of play the part, essentially. And then he was a little more aggressive with her, or she was a little bit less aggressive with her as the episode went on. And I almost think at first maybe he planned on being a dick, Maybe he wasn't going to be the nicest person, but deep down he is a good person. He just has a hard time trusting people after what happened to him in the first episode. So I think what it was he originally wasn't going to trust her, and then ended up trusting her, and now every time he's pushing her, he's trying to get her to, get over what she's done, which isn't someone else pushing that on someone else. Can be good, but can be bad. It depends on the kind of person, really. But it ended up being really what she needed. She doesn't want other people to die. She doesn't want Naofumi to die because, I'm sure she's grateful that he is nice to her, essentially. Even when he's being a little more aggressive, he's still doing it for good reasons. It's not like he's, torturing her and using, it reminds me of, Fate kind of stuff with command seals. It's not like he's using his commands to make her do, these atrocious things to innocent people or something, and really he's teaching her and raising her, essentially, and it's pretty cool. I like the sort of the relationship they're starting to establish with them. I think what we're gonna see is they spent a lot of this time on this episode showing, Raphtalia's backstory and everything, and they had her, encounter some blood, which was the first stage of her, recovery. She feared blood after, seeing her parents all bloody and everything. And then, of course, coincidences out the ass, we have, a dog monster that looks somewhat similar to the one that killed her parents show up. So she had to push through her next fear, but once she breaks through all those fears, I'm not sure if these two are the last ones. She might have other fears. It might take a few episodes for her to really come into her own, but I think she really took a good step forward to becoming a good companion, I guess, is what they called it this episode, a good party member. And I'm curious if Naofumi is going to get some more party members. I'm not sure. It could just be those two, but I also wonder if he's going to end up breaking her, somehow breaking her slave contract, I I'm not sure, but because obviously he abused it a little bit this episode. Right at the end, though, he did cancel it. He ordered her to attack it, and then canceled it and said, I'll stay here, you run, And then she realized she was gonna repeat the same thing that happened to her, before, and she didn't want that to happen, so. But I think that's a good step towards Naofumi kind of either stopping with the orders, but it might be hard, even if there's like... I don't know, see, I'm not sure how those orders work. Is there something, does he actually have to knowingly make an order? Like, if he tells her, go do this, is it gonna trigger the command seal? Like, just the way he phrases it? Like, would he have to say, like... Would he have to phrase it in, like, sort of an option? Like, do you mind going and doing this for me? And she could say no, But if he says go do this for me, is that gonna activate, like, the slave contract? Or does he have to, like, somehow knowingly, like, initiate that, magic connection? I'm not sure. But, if he has to knowingly initiate the magic connection like I was just talking about, then I feel like he's gonna start doing it less and less and less, and maybe stop entirely. And then there's also the chance that he'll just, try to get rid of the slave contract entirely, and they'll just become friends, which I'd like to see. I'd like her to be able to become her own person, and not just a slave, even though she does want to help Naofumi, she does want all this other stuff, but... And he'll probably let her do most of what she wants, even if she has a slave, seal, but I don't know. It would just be better, in my opinion, if they eventually broke that, Having that kind of thing between the characters, I don't think would be a good instigator for a healthy relationship, But, oh well. That being said, she did end up using a melee weapon. I thought that she was going to either have magic, or she was going to have a bow. I was wrong. I did my, way fallback option was potentially her having a, dagger or small weapon and being more like a rogue, like, agility-based and stuff like that. And that's kind of closer to what she is. So I did mention it, but it wasn't really at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought she was going to do some long-range stuff, but there's still the potential that she could develop it. I'm not sure how magic works in this world. I'm not sure if there's even... Because I don't know if we've seen any spellcasters yet, right? Like, anybody just doing, like, a fireball or something. We've seen the slave contract, and that's about as much a magic as we've seen, I think. So who knows? I guess we'll find out. And if there is magic, if there is, like, spellcasting, like mages kind of stuff, I don't know if that's something you have to be naturally born with, if that's something you can learn or whatnot, but she might end up just using, like, short swords the whole time kind of thing, but who knows? We'll see. But I'm looking forward to these characters' development going forward, because I like how much Naofumi doesn't care anymore. Like, he's not getting all, like, depressed and annoying about the fact that he was, like, victimized in the first episode, essentially, right? He kind of just sucked it up. He knows he has to get stronger, and he's doing what he needs to get stronger, People give him shit because he's a shield hero, and he's just like, I don't care, just give me this, I want it, And he's not even beating around the bush, like when he went into the hotel and he's like, I need a room, but she might be screaming, It sounded horrible, but obviously he meant because she wakes up in her sleep, because of nightmares, obviously. But he doesn't care about his image anymore. All he cares about is survival, which is kind of cool, uh when when the world screws you, you end up just wanting to screw the world. I just hope he doesn't push people away that could become allies, right? Like, he almost did that a little bit with the guy that sells him armor and stuff. Like, he kind of believed in him in the first episode, and then he shows up with this slave and, was very kind of rude in the beginning. He was a little better the second time they met and everything, but for the blacksmith guy, I'm sure it's business as usual, or shop owner. I don't know if he's an actual blacksmith or if he just buys from other people and resells. I don't know, but regardless of all that, he doesn't seem to care because obviously he's making money. But at the same time, I think there's a part of him that wants to respect Naofumi, and I feel like right at the start of the episode he lost a little respect, and then maybe later on he started to realize, like, okay, he's not doing, that bad stuff with her, so, so maybe their relationship is fine now. But anyways, yeah. Good stuff. Is there anything else I want to talk about this episode? Doop-a-doop-a-doo. I guess if I'm just going to talk about the show in a whole, I'm still really liking it. Honestly, I do want to watch more. Maybe. So, I'm not going to give any guarantees. You guys can kind of take this with a grain of salt. I might end up doing some extra episodes here and there on the side on this one, because I do enjoy it. And I don't know when season 2 is coming, but I think there's like 24 or 25 episodes to this, so 24 or 25 weeks. I'm guessing if we don't have a release date yet for the new season, then we'd make it, even if I do end up only doing one, episode at a time. But I don't know, we'll see. I do find myself every now and then, when some of these shows get really good, wanting to watch more, like, one of the best shows I've watched on my channel, no offense to any of the other shows, but Promised Neverland was fantastic. If I didn't watch that show while it was airing, I probably would have ended up, reacting to more episodes, quicker. But yeah, either way, even if I'm only watching one episode a week, it's still a really good show so far. I'm really liking it, and it feels good. There are. No, I mean, I'm really liking all the shows I'm watching, actually. In fact, I guess I'm just comparing it to back before I started doing reactions. I used to watch a lot more anime. If you guys check out my anime list, which I put in the description, I have a ton of shows on my list there. And a lot of those shows were, slice of life stuff where I just, like, watch almost every show that comes out in, like, a season of anime. And it got crazy how, like, crappy some of them were and boring, but I still watched them just 'cause. So when I see, like, shows like all the ones I'm watching, especially now that I'm taking it slow, I'm able to enjoy the shows I'm watching a lot more, since I'm not watching, like, I used to watch a 12 episode anime in a day, right? There were times that I did that, and there were times where I could do that in, like, multiple days. So I'd be watching, like, over the course of 3 days, I'd watch, like, 45 episodes and finish off, like, 2.5 or 3 shows-ish or something like that. And I'd blow through them like that, so I'd get through all the good ones, and then I'd get to all the crap ones, and then, I'd be out of good ones to watch. But now all the good ones are building up. Like, I have shows on my plan to watch that I'm excited to watch on the channel someday, like, 7 Deadly Sins almost won the poll, One Punch Man Season 2, Mob Psycho Season 2, things like that. Promise Neverland Season 2 is coming next year, I think. So that's something to look forward to as well. And you know, there's just all these shows that I'm really looking forward to. So it just feels good to enjoy a show, you know? Anyways, guys, I don't think there's much else to talk about for this episode, unfortunately. It was really good. You know, I could speculate on what I saw in the intro because some of it was a little spoilery, and I could make deductions based on that, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I almost feel like it's metagaming too much. I did watch the openings and maybe I shouldn't have, but at the same time, you know, I feel like it wasn't that bad, right? So, yeah, I'm just not going to sit here and try to come up with new theories, because if I talk about it, I'm going to come up with, like, more ideas, and I'm just scared I'm going to nail it, and then nothing will surprise me the rest of the show. And then when nothing surprises me, that hinders my reactions and stuff, because when something crazy happens, I'm just like, oh, you know, like, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so I think that pretty much sums it up for me, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Like usual, I don't know how often if I said this last video, but hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying this stuff. I very much appreciate it if you do. And then also in the description, there's a link to my Patreon, which you guys can get. You know, you can support me. It's very nice if you do. I very much appreciate it. And also, you get some benefits in return. So you get, like, early access. So if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you could become a patron and watch episode 3 right now and stuff like that. And then also there's full length, so you guys can watch along with me. You guys are going to need your own footage. There's going to be a timer in the corner, and you know, I tell you guys when to start, and you guys can watch the entire episode with me. So, you know, if you notice I ever cut out your favorite parts on some of these shows, then, you know, maybe full length is for you, and you support what I do here. And, you know, with enough support in the future, there's, you know, potential that I could do this full time and be releasing, you know, 1 or 2 episodes a day. Is really, like, if I wanted to do more than 2 episodes a day, I would definitely need to be established enough that I might have, like, an editor to help me or something like that. I don't know why. I don't really need to talk about this right now because you know, we may never even get to that point, but I was just thinking about it, like, realistically, if I was doing this full time, I could be doing, you know, 2 episodes, maybe more if I got a separate computer to render, because really rendering is, like, the hardest thing. If I render 2 episodes overnight, it takes about 8 hours, you know? So basically, by the time I wake up and I'm ready to, like, do some more stuff, I'd need that rendering to be done. So if I tried to render, you know, 3 or 4 episodes a day, it would bleed into my next day, and then, you know, it'd be a vicious cycle like that. So I'd at least need, like, a second computer to render for me or something. But anyway, I've talked way too much about random crap this video. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.